J.C. Jackson, who is not traveling on the trip to Germany. You reported on this yesterday, Bert.
Can I say something about this?
Yes,
by the
of
way?
course. You say
really
whatever
quick.
you want to say.
Do you guys think it's kind of horse crap that came out right after Bill's press conference?
Oh, yeah, we've discussed it already, that it was dumped right after the press conference.
I think that's kind of gutless.
It's not the first time.
Honestly,
this is something that happens frequently.
Bert used to be down there.
But specifically in a case like this, right? Like specifically in a case like this where you are the one responsible for bringing the guy back. You knew the problems. This isn't a surprise that this has happened with this specific guy, right? And it gets out there right after your press conference, so you don't have to answer for it. So you're not there to answer for it. And you know who else isn't there to answer for it? J.C. Jackson isn't there to answer for it.
Well, but you're talking about two guys that are never there to answer. And J.C. Jackson, after the game on Sunday, bailed, as did Jack Jones. They both left early, skipped out on the media.
So who does have to answer for it?
Nobody will. They refuse to.
The players have to.
Yeah, David Andrews has to.
You put your players in that. Like, to me, like, that is honestly, and I think Bill deserves a graceful exit from here whenever it happens. I've been on. I wouldn't agree with firing him in season, all of that. But I thought that was I just thought that was a crappy move, because at least in this case, especially when you're the one who wanted the guy back, who brought the guy back, who knew his problems when you drafted him, who knew his problems when you let him go, who knew his problems when you brought him back from the Chargers. The reason why he's out of Los Angeles is well documented, right? Like, you're responsible for all of that. The guy puts the team in a tough spot with the season on the brink, right? And, like, you take him off the field, so you're taking him away from the rest of the team as far as trying to win a game, right? You do all of that, and then you leak it out 5 minutes after the press conference ends, so you won't have to answer for it. So neither you nor J.C. Jackson have to answer for it, but all of these other players do. And I wouldn't, like, if you were David Andrews, wouldn't you be a little tired of being, like, walked up there? Like, hey, you take the bullets.
He's the first guy out after the game. He's the guy who's always there during the week to answer these questions. Yeah, no, they just put it right on the player. Bill just throws it right to him.
I mean, I just think it's like, that's a lack of leadership.
I agree with you. But I'm only surprised that you're surprised by it. You used to be there every single week for that.
But this to me is like a little more egregious, don't you think?
I think it's in line with previous
if you add the whole thing up, it's particularly egregious because I think you're putting the onus on your players to answer for something that was clearly a problem with multiple players in the team, right? It looks like not only at this point, like, contention is gone. Like, this is this week feels like we're going to see who's on board now, right? And so, like, the fact that you can't stand up there and answer the questions, I think in this situation, what a leader would do is, if you're going to leak it before your press conference so you can stand up there and take the questions, so you can be the one to deflect for your players, so you can be the one, even if you're not saying anything, which he wasn't going to say anything. But, like, I thought the timing of that was really crappy because it put the players who have nothing to do with this, who have been doing the right thing, in position they have to answer for something they shouldn't have to answer for.
I would say this. It's more evidence of Bill operating business as usual. This is the type of thing that they've been doing for years, and they would have done back when Brady was here, and they've continued to do it. So it's another example of them going along and doing things the same way, even when everything has changed. The winning has changed. The outlook on him personally as leading this team going forward has changed, but he's not changing his MO on a move like this. And you're right, it is gutless, and it does show a lack of leadership, and it does put his players, who are supposed to be his guys, in a bad position. But that's what he's always done, and that's what he still is doing, even though it should be painfully obvious to him that operating this way is not a precursor to success, or success is dependent on you running things this way. In fact, I would argue it's quite the opposite now.
I just think again, it's like you have to have respect for the situation that you're in. And like you said, like, you're not winning 13 games a year anymore. Not even close.
No, you're what, 6 games below 500 post Tom Brady now?
So you could argue you're as responsible for this as J.C. Jackson. because you're the guy who brought him back.